Hello again, friends. Welcome back. My name is Oscar Montes Iga. I'm a certified wine and spirits instructor for the International Wine and Spirits Guild, and we're at the Booze Library here of Uncork Vintage Academia. I'm also a master of agave spirits with the Agave Spirits Institute, and that is what I bring you today on Tequila Thursday. Let's call it Tequila Thursday. I bring you a tequila. You might have seen some of this coming around in the last couple of months, and I just decided to give it a shot, give you my feedback on my tasting evaluation of Fortaleza. More specifically, what I'm tasting today is Lote 20S, the Fortaleza Blanco at a still strength. This guy right here that you see, this still strength bottle tequila, comes specifically from the agaves surrounding the property of Fortaleza Distillery. So let's get that out of the way first. We are tasting from the Distillery of Fortaleza, or Distillería La Fortaleza, the Tequila Blanco Steel Strength, and that is actually 46 ABV. Agaves de la Villa is the label for this particular lot in distribution, the Lote 20 or Lot 20S, basically released earlier this year in 2022. The master distiller and proprietor is Guillermo Sousa. He's the 5th generation Sousa, and really kudos to him, very, very big shout out to him, because he's really making tequila just like his great granddad did, Zenobio Sousa, back in the 1800s, before tequila became manufactured in a very industrial way, with a lot of mechanization, with a lot of really industrial processes that created a huge issue for tequila. And of course, it made a surplus of output, of yield, of production, but unfortunately a lot of those processes actually to diminished quality to an extent. So Guillermo Sousa really has a product, a great tequila that comes with an artisanal mindset and fashion, and really I think you can taste that when you get your hands on some of his tequila. But let's start with the harvest. So he harvests nothing but purely mature agave, agave Tequilana Weber Azul. So the blue Weber gets harvested, and then he would cook it in traditional brick ovens, masonry. He still uses a Taona wheel. This is a big round stone wheel that comes from the Arabs, Egyptian and Arab Moorish technology. So the Taona is also known as the Egyptian mill, and basically you normally have a stone that is going around in a circle, and it's either pushed by laborers or, obviously, also, if possible, a donkey or a beast of burden, a horse, anything that can move that wheel around this basin. And in this basin, basically, you throw in your cooked agave cores, and they start milling it. So they start to mill it with just very soft volcanic stone being pushed around by this beast or force. And so you're really crushing these fibers so that you can eventually access all the sugar that is encapsulated there within the fibers of the agave cores. Then he would do a fermentation, and I do believe he uses wooden vats, open wooden containers. I really didn't look ahead of time just to refresh my memory, but I do believe also he uses bagasse fibers within that fermentation, and he distills in copper alembic pot stills, again another Moorish Arab technology or tradition. And that's it. His Blanco is either bottled as still strength, just like this guy, or the other Blanco bottled at slightly diluted ABV, which is 40 ABV. I'm not sure if he releases his Los Abuelos label Tequila Blanco in Mexico at 38 or less, or 36, 38, or if he keeps it at 40% ABV. But regardless, if you get your hands on Fortaleza, I think you shall be quite pleased. Um, that's really all I have to say about your labeling statements that we see. If you find, I mean, I don't have the regular still strength label just to compare, but for example, just to compare his Blanco label with the still strength label, on this particular bottling that he did on the Lotte 20, he has a neck tag that says Agaves de la Villa, or the Villa Agaves, the agaves surrounding his estate property. And it says this lot was produced by using exclusively ripe blue agaves from our villa in Tequila, Jalisco. As always, only mature agaves, yeast, and water were used. And if you book, or if you wanted to book a tour at the distillery, he is open to welcoming visitors at the distillery and show you the production process. Very open, very quality driven, as well as a traditional driven tequila that they're far and few in between nowadays. A lot of the tequila in the world today, which is almost technically about 99% of tequila, is highly industrialized, highly weakened by cutting corners with, because they may either be harvesting underripe agaves, or they may be doing crushing in mechanical roller mills. They may be distilling in stainless steel. They may be fermented in stainless steel. They could be doing worse things like diffusing the cores to cook them, which is something you need to look further into it, how your tequila is made. Or they could be using autoclaves, which are really like pressure cookers. And so when you put it into perspective, if you want to have a traditional product, that the piñas were cooked either in an ancestral fashion, meaning underground in a stone pit oven, or above ground in a more traditional or artisanal brick oven, a masonry oven. Those are the two best ways to go. Or you're talking about something else like acid thermal hydrolysis, cooking with acid, cooking with diffusers, cooking with autoclaves, high pressure, which, put it into perspective. If you're cooking a pizza, do you want your pizza to come from the oven, or do you want your pizza to come from the microwave? Do you want your turkey for Thanksgiving dinner to come from the oven, or do you want your turkey to be cooked in a microwave? It's essentially the same mindset that you should put into thinking about your beverages, and tequila particularly. I support what Sauza is doing, meaning Guillermo Sauza, not the Sauza label that it used to be owned by his family, but they sold off years ago, and so they no longer have any whatsoever association, and they're made in very, very different methods. So kudos to Guillermo for creating or recreating the recipe and the style that his heirs and predecessors were doing back in Jalisco when tequila had its birth, basically. But anyway, and now chat, shoot me any questions you have about tequila. You can please subscribe and like and share the video. I really appreciate that you do. It doesn't really cost you anything to subscribe. You'll be notified on the next tastings as well, so stay tuned, and thank you. So we are tasting neat, of course, and the tequila is clear. The color is clear. My nasal impact is actually drying, but very, very subtle. It's very soft. There is not a lot of aggressiveness, and I can leave my nose in there for a nice measure of time without it getting hurt, without it becoming prickling. It's just a nasal impact that is drying but very subtly. The nose has a lot of honey. There's honey and flowers like damiana flowers, like honeysuckle flowers, like elder flowers. Besides all the honey and florals, I also get lime zest, lemon. There's a piquancy of like white pepper, peppercorn, white pepper. Mineral notes include wet stones, a little bit of chalk, just a very small hint of chalk minerality or chalk dust. And then we got some green and herbaceous notes like fresh cucumber, cucumber peel, and sweet mint. The aroma production intensity is adequate and towards complex. And of course, there's no after treatment. This is bottled at distill or after distilling, so there's no maturation, no élevage, nothing secondary or tertiary. It is really what we're talking about: terroir and raw material, and its production prior to distillation. Of course, the fermentation processes. The production. The aroma length is adequate or average, and its character is fine. It's beyond the ordinary. You can tell there is excitement about this nose. It's not really changing. It's not evolving, but it's well done. It's precise. It has a precision tuning of delivering what I expect. See what it tastes. My first impression, the mouthfeel effect is coating and slightly warming. There's almost really no astringency on it. If anything, just a little bit of tension, very, very light tension. It's mostly coating, then becomes warming, and that's it. The alcohol and glycerol are smooth. The body is medium, full body, and the alcohol is sufficient. It's very well rounded alcohol with the weight and its texture. The primary taste is both sweet and bitter, and the smoothness is buttery. On the taste, I have more flavors than aromas, and I can still get the honey, the lime zest, the peppercorn, but and the white flowers or yellow flowers like damiana. But it also compounds to taste like sweet potato, like cooked pumpkin or squash. The sweet mint actually becomes a little more savory, like savory thyme, savory mint, savory herbs in general. I do lose the cucumber on the palate. It's really only on the nose. On the palate, I also gain orange and white peach and quince and apricot. So it becomes slightly fruitier and a lot of those rich blonde stone fruits. Very nice qualities. The flavor intensity is medium and the complexity is complex. The balance is harmonious. Very harmonious balance with everything. Aroma, flavor, texture, structural components, the alcohol, its weight. And the aftertaste is pleasant and long, and my overall impression is excellent. I can not really give any more praise to this tequila or tequila maker. He's a master tequilero doing a great craft. So there's really no more praise. You should really get your hands if you can. And I shouldn't be saying that because I want to stock more on it. And the more it disappears on the shelf, retail-wise, the less my shelf has. But I want to share this great product with you. Great tequila. Honestly, I would not pair with anything. I do not need a food pairing for this. I really enjoy the tequila as it is on its own. It's beautiful. I could drink this all day, any day. And if I was stuck in a desert island, this is the one tequila I would bring. But if you need a pairing, as it is customary in my channel, I would do a cucumber canapé if you have a cucumber with maybe like creme fraiche or soft cream cheese. Simple bite, just do it. You can do a sweet potato fries. You can do crudité, just raw vegetables. Really keep it that simple. You want something a little bit more complex, then maybe do not a Mexican style shrimp cocktail, but a little more simple, more restrained shrimp cocktail. Just plain shrimp, shrimp and cocktail sauce. Very simple cocktail sauce. Not a lot of horseradish. You don't want a lot of heat or piquancy with your food bites. Lastly, I could also see this working kind of well with some sashimi. Get some raw sashimi and you are golden. Doesn't need much. This really speaks for itself. Guillermo Sausa, a great maker. Un saludo. Cheers to you. Salud. Thank you for bringing us an awesome tequila to the world. And everybody, thanks for watching. Shoot me any questions. Subscribe and like and share the channel. And I appreciate you. Until next time, salud.